Yeah, I'm not on the same. I've got on the screenshot the second day those titles coming up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I am your host, Ar. Today, we are joined by Darth Plato. Hello, Darth Plato. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Welcome to another exciting episode of whatever movie we're watching.
Gettysburg, the second part, guys. And we also have Lance from the Outcast Creative. How are you today, Lance?
I'm pretty good. It's my birthday party tomorrow. So this time tomorrow I'll be dancing.
Well, that's exciting, Lance. We're happy that you are going to be celebrating your birthday. Happy pre-birthday to you, and welcome everybody. We have OG Fan When Star Wars, which is Star Wars says. So did we start on side 2 of the old DVD? Hello, everybody. Well, as long as it's at 1 hour 47 minutes. OG Fan When Star Wars was just Star Wars, you should be fine. I'm not quite sure where that is on the old DVD. For you, OG Fan When Star Wars was just Star Wars, but it's good to have you here. And let's go ahead and start the broadcast here so that we can all watch together. And I'm going to say to go ahead and start your recording or your DVD player
Start your engines.
now.
Yeah, I'm still on a different time code from you guys because. Yeah, my first scene of the second day is a load of the Confederate generals talking about the Union positions. I don't know if that's the same on your edit, is it?
All right. So General Hood is showing up, I think. All right. Yeah. So General Hood's now talking to Longstreet.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same scene, then that's good. They're talking about how many artillery the Union Army have brought up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Pay attention to this conversation. This conversation contrasts with what we saw last time, where the officer was saying that the Union has no troops on either of these hills. What General Hood is talking about now is those hills, and there are troops on those hills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who's the guy with the bandage on his head? Is that an actual character?
I'm sorry, what's your question?
The guy with the bandage on his head in this meeting. He's got a head wound. Standing next to General Hood.
I don't know. I don't know.
I wondered who that was.
I didn't look. But General Hood knows he's going to suffer 50% casualties, and he did, in fact, lose 50% casualties for that day. The movie doesn't really illustrate this, but when General Longstreet didn't want to make this attack, he really didn't want to make this attack. He made no preparations at all for making this attack. When General Lee told him that we're going to make this attack, okay, General Lee rode off. And then 2 hours later, he rode back and saw that nothing had been done. So he started going around and talking to Longstreet's officers himself and gave personal command for what needed to be done.
Okay.
So that illustrates just how much Longstreet really did not want to get into this battle.
I've got the British guy talking to Longstreet again now with his cup of tea in hand. Have you guys
Yeah,
got
we're,
that?
we're way past that.
Oh, you're past that?
Oh, yeah.
You know why? It's because I think I keep
Yeah,
getting
Chamberlain is putting his troops into the trees.
okay.
Yeah, we were talking about Hood talking to Longstreet. We're talking about when Hood was protesting to Longstreet.
Yeah, no, I've got that bit. There's just extra scenes on mine, so
We'll show them how officers fight. Yeah, professors.
So have you got to the bit where it says below the summit as Chamberlain and Co are starting to set up on, I think it's a little round top. I might be too far ahead now.
Ooh, somebody got shot there.
My buddy gets to smoke his pipe in all these scenes.
Look at his uniforms and the flag. It
Yes.
just looks wonderful.
It does.
Yeah, holding the colors like that, that's an old tradition coming from Europe and carried over. Yeah, they're trying to turn the cannon right there. Yeah.
Yes, that's Maxwell Caulfield, who was big in soaps predominantly, playing Colonel Strong Vincent. I'm not too familiar with his history.
Chamberlain pointing at the tree line, saying, "This is it. We're the end of the line.
Right.
We are the flank." Now, the reason this is significant for the Confederates is because this is probably what Lee had in mind. Is the last time he fought the Army was the Battle of Chancellorsville, and they did something very like this. They swung around to the extreme left of the Union Army, and they attacked on the flank where no one was expecting it, and they were able to push the entire Union Army right over the river. So this action, what Lee's trying to do, I think he's trying to recreate that magic. And this is a perfect example of how a general will sometimes try to force the circumstances instead of trying to adjust to the circumstances.
Okay.
Which is not good. You're supposed to make do with what you have, not try to force something based on some preconceived notion of what you want. All right, so he's going over to talk to the second main people again.
And we have OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars is here. We also have Linwood Kent. Hello, Linwood Kent. Great to see you again. Also, Eric McKitten says, where do we find Gettysburg? Guys, you can find it on Amazon Prime Video. It is there available for rental or purchase. And welcome, Eric McKitten. Hope you are well.
Yeah, the version of the movie I'm watching comes from Amazon. I just read it on Amazon.
It comes from
I
where?
own the I own the extended edition, but I had to rent the regular edition.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have an Amazon account in this room. Unfortunately, it's in the other room with the big TV.
Yeah. Colonel Vincent did defend that little round tub as well. That is true. He was a Harvard guy. There were 3 professors that fought in this battle: Chamberlain, Vincent, and Pettigrew, I believe his name was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see him later in the movie. An uphill charge, that must have been really rough.
Yeah, it does look difficult and challenging.
I think there was an uphill charge at Battle of Malvern Hill. I don't remember what the outcome of that was.
It also looks very smoky and dark. So, but at least you have some cover with the trees if you're lucky, a little bit of cover.
Yeah, my friend who was involved in the filming of all these scenes said it was a nightmare. Really, really challenging for the cast, and there was a lot of broken ankles and this kind of thing.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, attacking uphill like this against an entrenched position, you're just asking for trouble.
You gone past the bit where Chamberlain said we're going to have to be stubborn today?
The battle started. They're shooting at each other.
I've got the earlier part of the battle, but
yeah, Chamberlain's walking around and making sure people were doing it right. Pour it in, boys. Pour it in.
Okay,
Watch your left flank. Yeah, the Confederates just launched the attack.
Bandaging up his arm and all that good stuff.
I think there's a bit more shots of the Peach Orchard battle on the extended version.
Yeah, I don't. And Darth Plato, this did take place in a wooded area then.
Yeah, not just woods, but boulders too.
Yeah, my time skipped a little bit, not sure why.
I'm on the bit where they're extending the line to refuse the line.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh. There's not much chance of us being in sync with this when I've got this version on. Yeah, they're just extending the line now.
Yeah, they haven't started extending the line yet.
Tell me when you get to that bit. I've paused mine.
So I think they have a bit of a rest right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
All right, second wave. Here they come.
And OG fans, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says the walk up the big round top is steep. If you take the charge route, and the boulders mentioned that make up the slope fall away sharply at points, it's not an easy climb. Thank you so much, OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars.
I believe it. I would believe it.
Yeah,
That
you
looked
can
like
get
a
a
pretty
pretty
visual
good.
experience.
You could get a pretty good view of it on Google Earth if you have a look, and it's still pretty much as it was.
This is, I admit, this is a little hard to watch. These guys killing each other.
All right, now they're starting to extend the line. That thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
He's doing a little pep talk, and then they deploy.
Yeah, there's a danger to extending the line, though. When you extend the line, it means that you're very thin everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So you can suffer a breakthrough, and if they get troops into that hole, that breakthrough, they can exploit that breakthrough. So there is a risk to doing this.
Music in this scene is great as well. Kind of this sort of like relentless saturation of the forces.
Yeah, that guy got shot. Got me a rib. Yeah, that's great, OG fan. I wish I could do that. I would love to be able to do that. And just look around that battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really get the chance. No, here they come again. Oh, poor Butters, he's been shot.
I'm just on the bit where Chamberlain's just taken a round to the shoulder.
Yeah, I just saw him holding up his gun with a bloody armpit.
Yeah. Okay, we're pretty close to each other then. And the men help him up to his feet.
So Chamberlain just got shot, or he got knocked down, I should say.
Yeah, I think his the scabbard of his sword absorbed the round, I believe.
Yeah, I've heard stuff like that happening. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So the scene with the runner, he comes in and talks, updates him on the status of everybody else, and he's had orders from various commanders, all of whom are now dead. And then there's Donald Logue's character again.
Yeah, I don't think Vincent survived. Actually, I don't know.
It said he was badly wounded. That's Maxwell Caulfield's character. Yeah, probably not, I'm going to guess.
There's a monument to him at that location, so I'm guessing he probably didn't. That's pretty good for a Harvard guy. Here they come again.
OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars says Vincent died on July 2nd.
Yeah, he died that day. Yeah, this is July 2nd. Okay.
Thank you so much, Linwood Kent, for the kind words. Thank you. Such a pleasure to see you, as always. An OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars says, I've been to the battlefield park approximately 50 times. Wow, that's a lot. I think I've walked most of it, including the cavalry battlefields to the east and the Carlisle campaign. Wow. And OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars goes on further to say, it's a beautiful monument for the 83rd PA, I believe. Thank you so much, OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars.
So these scenes, by the way, were actually filmed very close to Little Round Top, for real, the real location.
Is it the real location?
Yeah, just a little bit further along. But yeah, basically, and they did several shots on Big Round Top. So when you see the shots with the boulders, which I think are coming up in a little bit, there's a few boulders.
You can see the Confederates they keep trying to move around.
Yeah.
It's part. Yeah. I don't know. You know what, man? If Jeb Stewart had been available, they might have been able to avoid all this.
Mm.
All right, now it's a melee. Yeesh. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that Donald said to me was that the extras soon learned how vital it was to keep their hands tucked under their body when they got shot, so that the people running behind them didn't step on their hands and break their fingers, which was the most common injury of the day when they were filming.
And OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars says, correct. It's at the Battlefield Reenactment Park, a few miles away for large-scale shots.
Interesting. Oh. Remember, these are Americans fighting Americans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the park stuff is the Adams County Farm, which is a couple of miles away, sort of along from the battlefield. But quite a few shots for this, not all of them, but any that you see with the boulders were actually shot on Round Top itself. You'll see most of those shots are kind of disconnected from the others slightly. So they would have been done by a second unit and then edited into the bulk of the action. Right, I'm on the bit now where they're talking about what they're going to do, and he's about to come up with the charge.
Yeah, they're about to do the refuse the line.
Yeah. So if you saw this at the cinema, the end of the first part was the end of this battle scene.
I believe it. Yeah, because there's no logical place to stop it. That's why I suggested stopping it where we did last week.
Yeah,
There's no place to stop.
Oh, did you see the shots of my cinema tickets?
I did, from Glory.
And from Gettysburg. I sent you two. Yeah, I found my original cinema tickets for both this and Glory.
That's fantastic.
I've got a whole box full of them, and I just started having a look through, and I found them both. Yeah. There's somewhere behind me.
They're about to do the bayonet charge downhill.
Yeah, I've got them. Everybody's putting bayonets on. You got that big long tracking shot of the line. It's quite nice.
It's a really risky thing they're doing right here.
Yeah, so they're charging on mine now. Donald Lowe's leading them down the hill. And now Chamberlain's lot. Yeah, if you look at where all the bodies are on the floor, you can actually see that there's kind of carefully choreographed pathways for the actors to run through, so they're not tripping over and stepping on people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, trampling is a real thing.
Yeah, it was a big problem on this film.
I'd keep falling down. I don't think I could go through rough terrain like that, especially in that siege area. I couldn't do that. I'd fall.
That's what happens in riots. Most people that die in riots are from trampling.
Yeah. Hey Tom, how are you, man? How you doing? Tom Junior Jackson's here, guys.
Hey. Hey Tom, good to see you.
And guys, don't forget to check out Lance's channel, The Outcast Creative, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe.
I am 9 subscribers away from 2,000.
Wow.
And I'm hoping to hit that on Sunday when I do my mega stream. So do pop on, guys. You're both welcome.
Thank you. And OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says, I'm wearing my Civil War regulation party hat decked out for the 24th Michigan Regiment which I put together at one of the shops at Gettysburg. Giants in their tall black hats, LOL. That is so great to hear, OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars. And guys, don't forget to watch me at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Burn Network for PGS Treks.
Poor Kevin Conway, mortally wounded. See, the line where the guy says he'll make it, he's a tough old Mick. I don't
How you
think
doing,
that,
Tom Jr. Jackson? Welcome back.
That's not in your version, I don't think. The version you're watching.
He's a fellow from Alabama. Yeah, Buster got shot twice. Yeesh.
Yeah, I just love what they've done with this film.
Yeah, so I'm on the bit with Chamberlain's asking what the name of the place is.
Hey, that may not be the best looking battle ever because of special effects being what they are, but I don't care. That this is my favorite battle scene because it really shows what they do in a battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
How they talk and how they improvise, and it's not special effects. It's not special effects. I don't care.
I think it's better that it's all practical, personally. And I mean, if they shot this movie today, all the battle scenes would have had loads of CGI extras added, and you know. I'm on the scene where Longstreet goes into the medical hospital now.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Ah. Yeah.
We're still talking to Buster.
Oh.
Yeah, we're still like the Irish guy got hit.
Let me pause it again. Now I've got Longstreet coming to talk to Hood, so I just paused it there.
Yeah, considering Buster's age, he probably saw the Irish Potato Family.
OG fan with Star Wars was just Star Wars says practical effects are special effects in my book, more special than CGI. And goes on to say, okay, that's where my side 2 starts at Longstreet, pursuing the damage of day 2.
I would agree. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's quite a day for Mr. Chamberlain. All right, now Longstreet's going into the hospital.
You have the bit coming up where the guy says they called it Devil's Den. What a good name for it. Worst ground I ever fought, which I think is that's a great bit.
Yeah, great names for these places. Yeah, Devil's Den. Yeah, there was another place called Death Valley. The Peach Orchard.
Did Hood survive this? I don't think he did he? Or did he?
He did.
He did.
He did survive. He left the war for about a year, came back to the war, and he was given command of the defense of Atlanta.
Right.
During Sherman's campaign, which didn't go well. Devil's Den juice. Okay, this isn't just bad because they lost Cal. Yeah, they lost men. That's bad, but it's worse though because the Confederates have significantly less manpower than the Union Army. They can't afford to make stands like this and expect to come out ahead. Longstreet's been arguing this since the beginning of the war. If we're going to do this, we have to be very selective about our battles. We have to fight when we know we have a reasonably good chance of winning this without losing a lot of people. And this battle was the break on that, which is why there was a falling out with Lee. He thought that everything about this battle was wrong, and for him.
I've got another scene now between Longstreet and the scout who appears at the very beginning of the movie, who's also the actor guy. But I think
yeah, that's what we're looking at now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're finally all caught up. Yeah, we were talking to Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison. That's it. I like the actor who plays Harrison. I think he's very good.
By the way, the reason why he's consulting Harrison and saying, I need you to get me this information is because Jeb Stuart's not there. This is Jeb Stuart's job. He's not even there.
I don't know if you're a fan of True Blood, but the guy who played Harrison had a recurring role in True Blood. Cooper Huckabee is the name of the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Speak of the devil.
OG Star Wars was just Star Wars says, Jeb Stewart was up in Carlisle marching on Harrisburg, getting his name in the papers. LOL. Yes, that I remember hearing that. And of course, Mark Spector's avatar says, I know how Gettysburg ends. Good to see you, Mark Spector's avatar.
General Stewart has just returned on my copy. With Longstreet and Lee looking on most pleased.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is a bizarre conversation. Modern.
I've just moved on to the gentleman's club scene. I think it's the gentleman's club scene.
It's the same people talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Mark Spector's avatar, for the kind words, saying I look very nice in my light green today. Got to do everything to keep cool. Mark Spector's avatar today was.
He could have been talking. Could have been talking about me. I've got a light green shirt on.
Well, yes, I suppose he could have been. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all kind of wearing a shade of light green.
This is
Mark.
green.
Could you be more specific, please?
Thank you so much, Mark Spector's avatar, for your kind words. And Tom Jr. Jackson says, I just ordered my ticket for Tuesday at 4 to see the new Mission Impossible film. That's fantastic, Tom. And Tom says, it looks like an electric neon green. It is a neon color, Tom.
Yeah, I just got my tickets for Mission Impossible. My friend directed a Splinter unit on that, and they've got a special premiere, but it's all sold out already.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, there's a load of cast and crew going to it. I think they've hinted that crews might appear at that one. So, but I wanted to wait until my friend was over from Australia so we could go and see it together.
Well, thank you, Mark Spector's Avatar, and thank you for being here. We hope you're enjoying this. We are enjoying watching the second half of Gettysburg right here on Positive Fandom with Darth Plato and Lance from the Outcast Creative.
So I think that's a triggered moment there.
I don't remember in the cinema there being the line about General Lee being descended from an ape in this scene. Sure, that's only in the extended one.
It is from the original.
Is it? No, I don't
Yes.
remember that. This is Richard Jordan, who was dying of cancer when he was filming this, and he knew it. So he knew this was going to be his last movie. Yeah, makes it all the more. He was a fantastic actor. Played Francis in the Logan's Run feature film, and he's fantastic in that role too.
You have to wait till tomorrow, son. 346.
Oh, thank you, Linwood Kent. You guys are so nice today. Thank you. Says, I think it's neon yellow. Looks fantastic on Artman. Thank you, Linwood Kent. Thank you so much. So glad that you are here enjoying Gettysburg as well with us.
Yeah, what he's illustrating is something. This is something that really happened. People who knew each other, who were very close to each other, one went north and one went south to fight. This was real.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Tom says, you are the celestial hostess of Billowing Positivity RM. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everything you do, Tom. We are all goof people, Tom. I don't know about that, Linwood Kent. It's just fun that watching the film with all of you. This is so much fun. Thank you all of you who are here right now enjoying this fantastic film.
Actually, if you listen closely to this scene with Richard Jordan, you can hear that his breath is quite laboured, and his face is quite gaunt. And I think they just did 2 takes of this scene, with his close up, and you can see that the whole, it's a really long scene, and and they do when they do the reverses of Longstreet, he's not in the shot, so when they do Longstreet's reactions, reverse shots, Richard Jordan may have been there, but he probably wasn't. Probably was sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really powerful scene. It's really shows the anguish of the conflict of fighting brother versus brother, so to speak.
All right, now we're going to see some more General Jeb Stuart.
I'm telling you, sir, there is no time. That's what I remember about that scene. Yeah, my scene with Richard Jordan was definitely longer than yours, so I had to skip ahead a bit there.
Prepare for a dressing down. Here were reasons. Yeesh. Bad retort. If you don't know what the enemy is doing, you're really at the mercy of what's going to happen. You have to have people forward that are giving you information. It's just simple, basic rule of war going back forever. It's true now. Intelligence. And what Lee's saying was what really happened. Stuart's cavalry completely disappeared because he was off joyriding, and he was not reporting on the movements of the enemy. And the Confederate Army, it very nearly was drawn into a peaceful engagement where they could have been rolled up. This was a serious tarnish of what had been an impeccable career up to this point.
I'm on the morning of the third day now. Have you got to that yet?
We are, yeah.
So those boulders where the Chamberlain brothers are, that's actually Big Round Top at the park.
The third day. So we're getting close to the end now.
Well, another hour and a half to go on my version.
Yeah. All right. So what you heard before was the Lee lecturing Jeb Stuart which was a serious tarnish on Stuart's career. So now we're seeing the unfolding of the third day at Gettysburg, which, in my opinion, seriously tarnishes the reputation of General Lee.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I would agree. And it's the one time that he's considered to have made a really stupid decision.
At least with victory fever, he felt that his people were invulnerable. That he thought that they could. He thought my boys can do anything. My boys got this. That was his attitude. And in a way, that's complimentary because you want to have confidence in your man, but he was overconfident.
I'm on the scene with Longstreet and Lee where the plan. Yeah,
that's what it is.
And Longstreat tries and tries again to talk him out of it. It's quite a sad scene.
Yes, and this is what really happened, by the way.
Yeah.
This conversation did happen.
Yeah.
And OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says this is the real view and says beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars.
You say 3 federal corps are now on that right flank. That's about 30,000, 28,000, 30,000 men.
Yes, I agree, Tom. It is a well-made movie, and they have specific quotes in the film that are, quite telling. Right before some of these actions, where the commanders are talking about the outcome of this action, what they believe in and what they don't believe in. I really enjoy this about this film a lot, Tom, and I'm sure you do too.
Why does he think that they'll break in the center? I never understood that. But just because the center is weaker than the flank doesn't mean that the center will break. That comparing the center to the flank is relative to those two things. Whether or not you have the force to exploit that, that's a whole other matter entirely. I never understood why he made this move. Now Longstreet was so put off by this conversation that he went around telling his subordinate that I'm against any action we're taking to there. I objected to it and I got overruled. This is General Lee's decision.
That is quite a remarkable thing to tell people on the battlefield.
Yes, he said that to two people on the battlefield. It's absolutely astonishing.
It's not professional.
No, it's not, but it kind of gives you an idea of what his state of mind was.
Because theoretically anything can happen, but
Well, sure. But what's most likely to happen?
Yes.
What's most likely to happen is your men are going to get crushed.
Yes.
And Longstreet knows it. He knows it. And this juxtaposes the conversation from the first day of battle, where Buford's standing there by the fence saying, "I know it's happening. You can't stop. A battle's coming, and you can't stop, and you know it's going to go bad." That conversation is now being juxtaposed on the Longstreet.
The actor who comes up and talks to Colonel Chamberlain on the hill, tells him he's being relieved and moved to the centre. That is Dwyer Brown, who played Kevin Costner's father in Field of Dreams.
Interesting. I never would have made that connection. Now, this is round 2 of Lee talking to Longstreet.
Yeah. They were really depending on this artillery to try and clear a path for them on that ridge. And I remember that with the rules, when I played this as a tabletop game, you had to keep a careful record of the Confederate artillery ammunition, because it would run out if you weren't too careful with its use. Yeah, this is where Longstreet really pleads with him to call off the attack one last time, isn't it? No 15,000 men can take that ridge.
Yes. According to him, he really said that.
Yeah, and he's citing...
We don't have his word for it.
He's citing Fredericksburg, saying, look, they're in the position we were at in Fredericksburg. Remember what happened there? I don't understand why he didn't call it off. I don't think it ultimately would have changed.
It's the exact reversal of Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
So at Fredericksburg, they held the position that the Union now holds, where they're the opposite end of the field with a stone wall in front of them, entrenched. They had artillery on the high ground with command over the battlefield. That was Fredericksburg. The same thing here, except the two sides are reversed.
You've got that scene coming up where I think it's Longstreet, sort of when his men are waiting in the trees, he points out various different men and explains who they are and where they're from. Do you know the scene I mean? and I think each of the extras that are playing those people are actually relatives of the people that are being talked about, if I remember rightly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing that you would do in a movie that you wouldn't catch the first time you watch it, but you appreciate later when you look at special features.
OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says Burnside's folly that cost too many lives. And Tom Jr. Jackson says, I think the choice to film at the real field helped make this film feel real. It sure does, Tom Jr. Jackson.
Yeah, when OG is referring to a Burnside, he's referring to the Union Army commander that was at Fredericksburg. That was General Burnside. But he was gone. Then after him was Hooker, and Hooker was gone. Now we're on to Meade. And here comes General Pickett. Oh, here, look at it. This scene was unscripted.
Really?
Yeah. When he rode past and all the men.
Yeah, see how they're all running out like that around General
Yeah.
headquarters? Yeah, this scene
Yes.
was completely unscripted.
Oh, wow. So it's real.
Yeah, the people with the cameras in. Whoa, look at that! Yeah, start filming.
Yeah, you can actually see that Martin Sheen is quite visibly moved.
Yes, it's a lovely scene.
And then they filmed some extra pickups to insert.
Look at these guys. So some of these guys aren't even wearing proper uniform. They look like they're just cobbled together like a bandit.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I think it's so.
Yeah, look at that guy in the middle with the straps around. He looks like he's getting ready to rob a train.
Yeah, he does.
But it's historically accurate, though, isn't it? Because they were desperately short of uniform.
For sure, and we know that because we have photographs of the era, so we know what they dress like.
I love it. This might be one of my favorite scenes in the film.
Yeah, it's one of mine too.
Now, he was a beloved figure. There's no denying that.
And what a great way to show it.
Yeah. But as the Romans said, memento mori, remember we are mortal.
OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says, I love Stephen Lang. Since Manhunter.
Me too, dude. Yeah, I remember him in that as well. So good in The Hard Way as well. I think I remember reading about the actor who plays the head of the Confederate artillery. Again, I think he's also a relative of that same character. There's a couple of people that play roles like that.
Well, yeah, I think that's why Robert Duvall should have been General Lee, because Duvall is a descendant of General Lee.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. Actually, I just saw Lee and Duvall in a movie last night called the 12 Mighty Orphans or something, about one of the first American football teams. They were both having fun in the scenes they were in together.
Yeah, they just didn't have enough resources.
Darth Plato, what's the significance of that pennant that went past on with the horse, the red and the white one? Is that for a certain brigade or company or something?
That's usually how they define it. It's just a marker to say to distinguish one unit from another. I don't know this particular case in Civil War wasn't really my thing. Like for example, in Alexander the Great's army, they had all the units had different color pennants, and each pennant was identified to a call, and so the call would tell. So that's how you were able to tell, and you could look around, you can see the color. You could tell whose unit was where by the color they had. So this has been a part of war for a long time.
Guys, that was George Lazenby, aka James Bond from Her Majesty's Secret Service, in this scene.
We also use those flags at electronic dance music festivals to find people that you're lost. You can just go ahead and look
there. That's a good use of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pettigrew was also a professor. He was from the University of North Carolina.
Oh, okay. G's saying that pennant might have been a guide for cavalry on the battlefield. So
It could have been. It could have just been Longstreet's personal.
Thank you, OG fan.
Yeah.
Says that shape.
Yeah, like I said, Civil War's not really my thing, so that may be true. Yeah, he's talking about crossing the Emmitsburg Road. Yeah, that's such a crazy thing because there's a big fence right there. So as soon as the formation gets out there, you're not going to be able to get through that fence. You literally have to stop what you're doing to clamber over that fence, and it just looks so dumb when they were trying to do it.
I also don't understand why they didn't direct some of the artillery, at least, to break up the fence ahead of the attack.
I would wait for artillery, honestly.
And standing next to George Lazenby there is Morgan Shepherd again.
Was this a quote that was actually said, or was it?
Which line?
I do believe that this.
Attack will fail.
Will determine the fate of
the war.
Of the war.
It's a bit over dramatic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more likely to say I do believe this attack will fail. But sadly,
no, I think that the defeat of Vicksburg was pretty significant.
Yeah, it's a major supply center, wasn't it?
However, on the other hand, this was the first real instance where General Lee was soundly defeated, so that was a pretty big deal for morale. The North, however, the North was funny. The newspapers in the North were really cynical about the Civil War. They really were. They absolutely hated the war, and they were very cynical about what was going on. They're magnifying the errors. They're minimizing the victories that were going their way. It was really bizarre. So after Gettysburg, the papers were making it sound like that the rebels were running over everybody. And there were these really bad riots that resulted in New York. Like, oh God, with Gettysburg just happened, and now we're recruiting more men. And there were really awful riots in New York that happened right after this. They call the draft riots.
And OG says, "Wow, I never knew this was Lazenby nice."
Yeah. And the draft riots that you're talking about, I think those are the ones that are depicted in the Gangs of New York movie at the end of the film.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. It was. That was an awful affair there. Now wait a minute.
Are you guys at the Longstreet and Harrison scene yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wants to get a musket, doesn't he, and take part.
Yep.
And now Chamberlain's lot are arriving to take up their quiet position in the centre where nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
I believe I mentioned it before that General Hancock ran for president in 1880.
Yeah. And he lost, didn't he?
Yeah, he lost to Garfield. Yeah.
Wasn't Garfield the one who died after 40 days or something?
Garfield was shot. Yeah.
And they couldn't find, I guess, maybe the bullet, and he suffered.
Yeah, he got shot in the back, he arrived at a train station, was shot in the back, and he was meeting somebody, and when the guy ran off with the gun, the traveling companion tried to run after the guy, but the guy ran for the cop. He got apprehended. I'll give you extra credit. You can tell me who the guy was that tried to run after the shooter.
I'm sorry.
The guy who ran after the shooter for Garfield.
You mean who is he?
Yeah. Would you be surprised if I said it was
I don't remember.
Well, would you be surprised if I said it was Michael Todd Lincoln?
Sure.
And history is not without a sense of irony.
It is ironic. OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars says Hancock is wearing the Hardy hat. Thank you, OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. We know you have your Hardy hat.
Yeah, I never would have made that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Chamberlain looks like he's wearing a train conductor hat.
Yeah, he looks like he could be a train conductor.
He's like, all aboard. You still messed up. Hospital in those days, yeah, avoid that.
This is where they find out that Ned died, right?
Yeah. No anesthesia, and no penicillin. Yeesh.
Yeah.
There's no running water.
There's nothing.
No. That's called a stream. Yeah.
C. Thomas Howell is really good in this.
Yeah, he is. And it's quite an unusual role for him. He most recently appeared in Animal Kingdom, playing the father of, I think, one of the girlfriends of one of the main characters, who was an ex-policeman. And I mean, God, he looks so different. And he was very good in that too. Now I've got the barrage starting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how many cannon they had at Gettysburg.
No, it was quite a lot, I think, for this bombardment. Certainly, they must have got every reenactor's cannon in the country to come and
bring everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not true to the period. Just bring it.
It does look impressive.
It does.
And all the smoke, it would be realistic. That's the thing about a battlefield that people don't understand. The visibility would be really bad.
Yes.
And because the visibility is bad, it doesn't make for good TV movies. It's like, I can't see anything.
That's even more true with the naval battles of this era and, over in Europe as well. Once the firing started, it's one of the few helicopter shots in the movie. I think there's a couple coming up.
The colonnade. Anjou. Fruit. This is a long shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it must have looked incredible on the screen.
Yeah, on the big screen, it looked great, this sequence. That's certainly...
A colonnade this typically does precede an action.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly was one of the most epic battle scenes I'd ever seen.
Look at Hancock just riding out there. It takes guts to do that.
This panning shot of the Confederate soldiers. There's one guy who looks straight into the lens. Clearly didn't get the director's. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera. That's what you always tell them. Look anywhere but at the lens. There's one guy that looks straight into the lens. And this would have been shot on film. So, you haven't got unlimited takes like with digital today. It's less expensive.
Look at these guys.
That's really bizarre that I just noticed that one of the extras in the Confederate line is in a Union uniform. Just before the conversation with Armistead, and that's Andrew Prine on the horse who played Andrew from V, the miniseries in 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was his character might have been called Stephen, I forget.
We noticed that the Confederates all wear different shades to the uniform. They're not all the same shade.
No, but one of them definitely had a Confederate, had a Union uniform on. Maybe it's just because that's all he could get to keep warm or something. I don't know. Or maybe he was a turncoat.
I think it's because they just found whatever shade of gray that they had, that they made at whatever location they had. So they didn't all have the exact same shade of gray.
And that's important to show the variation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This wasn't streamlined. People were making this by hand.
Stephen Lang having the time of his life here with this bit.
I think this is the only time Garnett talks in the whole movie. So he has very little speaking lines in the movie. Yet when he dies, it's really painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pickett was always kind of a nut. When he was in the Mexican-American War, he had charged a fortress, and he was the first one up the ladder. And he fought his way all the way down to the bottom to open the door. That guy was crazy. And here's Fremantle again.
Yeah. This conversation between Longstreet and the artillery guy, I did not like the acting in this scene. I think this is, for me,
we're past that, by the way.
It's one of the scenes that let it down a little bit.
Oh, wait.
Tom Berenger, I'm talking about, actually.
Okay, yes, yeah. This is Longstreet and Porter.
Yeah. They're talking about the ammunition that's going to run out. And...
Yeah. So I'm a little behind.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I'm about a minute ahead of you guys.
Yeah. I'm okay. I think I'm okay.
But the guy playing Porter really acts his socks off in this scene. He's really good.
I think he's explaining this more for the audience benefit because Longstreet would know this.
Yeah. A bit of exposition. But it feels like Tom Berenger's reaction and dialogue in that scene is a bit naff, I felt.
And Mighty Orbots is here, says, Bob, hi, Mighty Orbots. Hello to you. And OG Fan with Star Wars was just Star Wars, says that was Ken Burns. And Tom Jr. Jackson says, Ken Burns without a 69-hour documentary? Amazing.
Who would Ken Burns?
Yeah, that documentary was one of the best educations I got on the whole war when I saw that for the first time.
The Star Spangled Banner with the song. So I'm not sure what he's referring to there. The flag is called Old Glory. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was different in those days.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
scene where he's talking about the different characters. Richard Jordan, another great scene in the film.
Give me liberty or give me death.
I love that. And talking ancestry.
Yeah. And it cuts to shots of different reenactors, and I think each of those reenactors does have some kind of connection to the character that's being talked about, somehow or somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool. That would show some a serious commitment to making the movie.
Yeah. Oh, I think the guy was partly inspired to write this scene so that he could feature a load of them. Well, I'm back on the Union line now. They're still getting shelled.
And all of Virginia with blood that day.
Now, this next scene where Tom Berenger ultimately gives the order to attack, this he plays really well. Even just from his posture and his stance and everything, you can see how heavily it's weighing upon his head because he just knows it's going to fail.
And I think and what actually happened is he never did give the order. Somebody else had to do it.
I think it was Pickett gave the order, and Pickett never forgave Lee for this.
Yes. Pickett had no idea. Yeah, Pickett had no idea what he's getting into. It's what they call combined arms. Infantry, artillery, cavalry, working together in unison to maximize effectiveness. And here you have infantry dug in with the support of artillery in close cooperation, and these people are about to feel it. So this should be the last we'll see of Fremantle. So, like I said before, Fremantle wasn't there by himself. He was traveling with a bunch of other Europeans. There was a Frenchman there, a Prussian there, there was an Austrian, a Russian. There was a lot of people. And they were all traveling as a group. They went in through Mexico. They traveled up the southern states into the northern states. And they were with the army. So this is actually true. They were there. They did witness Gettysburg. And after this battle is over, they continued north through the Union lines. They spent some time there and went to New York City, where they witnessed the, as I mentioned before, the New York draft riots. And so when Fremantle wrote his book about what he saw at Gettysburg in the Civil War, he does mention the draft riots.
Yeah, so this is the biggest number of living history or slash reenactors that
And
they use.
look at all those guys. That's
Yeah.
a great scene.
Yeah.
This is not CGI either.
No. No, the only cheat that they did like that in one of the earliest scenes was they had a row of cardboard cutout guys.
I guess it would be hard to do this for Star Wars. They would have that many guys in stormtrooper uniforms.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be a lot of uniforms to make. What's great as well is all these extras come with their own kit. So
Yeah.
not only are you getting the person, but you don't have to pay for the rifle. You don't have to pay for their costume.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them probably do their own makeup and get their faces grubby, So you're actually, we had the same thing on a film I shot on. We got 50 guys dressed as paratroopers, all for sort of 50, 60 quid each for the day. So it was a really good deal, and the production value on screen looks good. Looks like you spent lots of money. So that's what people like to see. Oh, and Richard Jordan leads this charge, man. It's gets me every time, for your wives, for your sweethearts, and just also because he knows this is like his last big acting job. So it's he really goes for it,
Now, if he had half a brain, he's looking across that battlefield. He sees what's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and the artillery fire their last rounds. I love the music in this sequence as well.
Yeah, by this time the Civil War had taken on a life of its own. It was like a myth by this point, a mythos. It had its own mystique.
Bless you.
I should mute myself. Second one was bigger.
And the truth of the South. When the war started, there wasn't a lot of people in the South that supported the war. It was actually very controversial. And as the war continued, as it grew, people became more and more supportive of it. But the manpower was still very small compared to the North.
Yeah.
It might have to do with the groupthink, narrative fallacy. I don't know. So there was a Confederate General Early. He was a congressman in Virginia. He voted twice against secession. He voted against Virginia leaving the Union to join the Confederacy. He voted against it twice. And he became an officer in the Confederate Army. And when the war was all over, he wanted to wage a guerrilla war against the Union Army. He refused to surrender after the war was over. After Lee surrendered, so he got radicalized. Like, what is it that happens to that turns you into that?
It's a good question.
There's a psychology here that's really hard to explain.
You got to the shot where they're entering the wheat field yet?
Right now, all the artillery guys are waving.
Yeah, I think I'm about half a minute ahead of that. There's this great wide shot where they're crossing from the green into the brown grass.
Yeah, we see that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great shot because also you can see the length of the line and
Yes.
it's massive, you know.
Yeah, and the smokiness does add realism to it because it would have been smoky.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. This is just amazing what they did here.
It's funny in the foreground as well. There's actually little sheafs of wheat that have been put up and are still there, like from the farmer, you know, before these guys all arrived. Probably should have collected that.
This is amazing too. I mean,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and you got the helicopter shot coming up.
Yep, there he is.
Yeah, so this is the stuff that's shot on the farm, by the way. So it's not at the battlefield itself, but it's very close. Adams County Farm.
well, they certainly do know how to set the tone.
Yeah, they're really going for epic. Everything's about scale here. Big shots. You know, got lots of extras. We want to see them all in every shot if we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now the Union start firing at them. I do think, though, that this whole battle scene could have had a bit more gore. I felt it was a little bit tepid on the actual level of violence, but it was in keeping with the way they shot the rest of the movie, so I suppose it was appropriate. But I think I was just spoiled because Glory came out first, and that was a lot more visceral.
This certainly does have a different feeling to it.
Yeah, it's more about telling the overall, capturing the scale of the narrative rather than necessarily.
Yeah, but the Glory didn't have shot that. The reason why I say this is a war movie compared to Glory is because it's doing all this other stuff.
Yeah, it's not a microcosm narrative. It's a very, very big broadsheet, multi perspectives and all that. I mean, it's shot like a traditional old historical war film, like Battle of the Bulge and Bridge Too Far. It's that kind of template.
It certainly is, yes.
And the casualties are starting to mount now. First few people going down.
There are 3 divisions in this battle. That's Confederate Division 3. That's a whole corps. So that's about, give or take, about 25,000 men. Yeah, I don't know the length of that field. I wish I knew the length of that field. The length of the line, I mean.
I can see why this film would be a favorite of so many, you know.
Yeah. It certainly is for me. Yeah, it's how the flag falls and someone immediately picks it up. It's yeah, I don't know what that building is. Yeah, Pickett, man, he threw himself into this. He thought they were going to do okay.
And we're I can't even believe I'm saying this. We're nearing the end of the film.
Yeah. Still got a half hour to go on my count.
Well, I'm assuming in that half hour there must be the most incredibly long credits we've ever seen in a film.
There probably are. Actually, there's got to be 8 minutes of credits or something silly like that. It's got to be quite long, the credits, I would think. They're climbing over the fence now on mine, which of course caused a huge number of casualties. It broke up all the formations. So that was a huge problem. Rather obvious one. Obvious drawback.
Yeah, here's that stupid fence we're talking about.
Yeah.
Ah, they're so dumb. It just wrecks the whole formation. The formation exists for a reason.
It's a disaster. It's like easy target practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole section's done pretty well.
Hmm.
There's Garnett.
And the Union guys just all lying in wait, basically. Yeah.
Double canister. And here comes and now that was just the artillery. Now they have the infantry to deal with.
Yeah. Pouring fire on. Have I missed the shot where Garnett charges towards a cannon and then you just see his horse come running back?
Yeah, that's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, without him, that's Andrew Prine's.
Yeah, who the hell knows what really happened? He died that day, but I don't know if he got shot off his horse like that. There he is. I don't know. I don't know if he went out the way Turenne did.
Yeah, Pickett can't quite tell what's happening. He's getting very frustrated. Oh, I think Hancock's about to get wounded.
He was shot that day, yeah.
Yeah, that's just happened on mine. Takes a round to his side.
Yeah, he just got shot there.
Hmm.
Yeah, because him and Armistead both get wounded. They were both best friends, and I think I can't remember, but I think I read somewhere that he might have got to speak to him before he died, but I'm not sure.
He what?
That Hancock maybe got to speak to Armistead.
I don't know if he did. I don't know.
Yeah, in the medical tent or something. But I'm not sure. I just remember looking that up and getting an answer.
Yeah, Armistead did die that day.
Yeah, he succumbed to his wounds, I think, a bit later.
You guys, make sure you like and subscribe to Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel. Tom Jr. Jackson, moderator, collaborator, and good friend of the channel here. He has his own YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel.
I'm a sub.
Now we've been on this stream for 2 hours, and we saw the first half of this film a week ago. This is the second half, and I'm just so impressed with this film.
Yeah, it still holds up like really well.
Yeah, I watch it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because the last time I watched it was literally just a few weeks ago. Yeah, Garnett's.
There he goes.
Yeah, and Lee kind of binoculars. I think he's seen.
Yeah, so Garnett's down. There's Kemper getting shot.
Yeah, and his aide.
I don't know, man. That must have been painful. There's Pettigrew.
Armistead and his guys have only just got through the fence.
Yeah, I don't think did Joe Trimble survive? I don't know.
I think he did.
Well, I know Pettigrew died.
Yeah, he definitely died. Let me. I think it's implied in the film that General Trimble dies because Lee's going. I pray they tell me it's mortal, and he says, "I pray that's not the case." But then I remember looking that up, and I think he did survive.
This fence thing is disturbing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, Pettigrew just got shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Machination hadn't quite reached the point where you couldn't go out into the open at all. So this is like the war between the Napoleonic era and the wars of the First World War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More mechanized warfare later on.
Yeah, in the First World War, you couldn't go out in the open at all.
No.
You were just going to die. If this were the First World War, these men would have been dead inside 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, Trimble survived the war. He lived until he was 88.
Interesting. Whoa, that guy got shot.
85, sorry.
Wow.
But he spent the rest of the war in a federal prison.
I mean, one of the things about this film that stands out to me is how comprehensive it is.
Yeah.
And I think that any screenplay writer or director who has a vision like this and wants something more comprehensive, this would be it. This is the one. It's not achievable for everybody, though. It's like not possible to do this all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you would have had a huge team coordinating this, endless first assistant directors, second unit directors, and you know.
It's amazing they even got this far.
Yeah, and it was only one section where they got right up to the Union line, very narrow section, and they were soon all either killed, wounded, or captured.
Yeah, but that's when the reserves go in.
Yeah.
I mean, this does feel like a slaughter, but it is what it is. I mean, it is war.
Yeah, the problem with something like this is if you penetrate the line, which is what they're doing here, you have to have people backing you up so that you can exploit it.
I don't know if you notice in this bit, but they show a small unit of black soldiers reinforcing the line there. I don't know if they were actually there, but that was just one group of extras who happened to be together. Now Armistead's been wounded. Yeah, there they are again. I just saw them. They used the same shot twice.
Yeah, the battle's about to end.
Yeah. And Pickett gets knocked off his horse, his high horse, literally.
Yeah, that should have been Lee, honestly.
And it certainly is a dramatic conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Not sure if the horse would really be sitting there, just standing still like that.
It's funny because it is, still difficult to watch people dying on the battlefield, regardless of side.
Yeah.
It's really
Understood.
And one of the things they get right is they show the number of people that are still like wiggling around on the ground in pain, and because you take a shot from a musket ball, it's not an instantaneous death in most cases, and yeah.
Imagine that. Look at this. This is polite warfare. Honestly, I've seen descriptions of battles where you get shot close to a line, and while the battle's still going on, some people come over and they start robbing you.
Yeah.
Right, while you're shot, they start rifling through your possessions.
Yeah, Henry V is a good example of that. The Kenneth Branagh version, depicting people doing that during the battle.
Yeah, that happened at Waterloo too.
This scene with Armistead and the younger Chamberlain brother, C. Thomas Howe's character, is really moving. And this was the last scene that Richard Jordan shot for the film. And I think by this time word had got round that he was dying. And apparently when they were filming this close-up of him dying from his wounds, everybody on the crew was crying.
I think maybe watching this film might be more effective than for some people might be more effective than even picking up a book about the topic.
Certainly more visceral, perhaps.
Well, I'm always going to say read the book,
Yeah.
and it is based. And in fact, there is a book. It's called Killer Angels.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In fact,
So they're shouting Fredericksburg. So this is payback for Fredericksburg. What they're saying.
yeah, it's a series of 3 books altogether.
I think the original author only wrote the one book, but the other books were continued by somebody else. I think. I don't think it was the same author.
You might be right. Yeah, you're right. The other books were written. They weren't written by Michael Shara.
And I have no idea if this film is a good adaptation of the book, but it's one of the best films I've ever seen.
I would say it is. I've seen the book.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a multi.
I have the book right here. The cover's torn, but I have the book right here.
Yeah, I might see if I can get a copy. Actually, be interested to read it.
Geez, almost 4 hours now. Jeez.
Yeah.
We didn't start at. We started at 1:47, so.
Yes, that's why I'm saying if you guys have any comments about the film,
So
just
we're
say
going
it now. I'm going to wrap it up right after this film ends.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours, 10
What
minutes.
want to say about the film?
This is the book that introduced me to Gettysburg, by the way. I don't know if you can see that, RM.
I can. Thank you.
But I got given this book for Christmas in 1984, and one of the battles that it depicts is Gettysburg, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a historical book where they sculpted the landscape in pictures, and this is the book that got me interested in the battle. Then I think the Ken Burns doc came out probably not long after that, because that was the 80s.
Thank you for showing that to us. And Darth Plato, is there anything that you want to say about the film before? Because as soon as the film ends, I'm going to end the stream. But I was curious, what else did you want to say about the film before we end the stream?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Yeah. It's one of my Civil War relatives.
Oh wow, that's amazing!
Veteran of the Civil War.
That.
There's another one, Civil War veteran, that's with his Cherokee wife.
Wow.
Cherokee.
It's hard to see.
No, but I can see it.
It's hard to see. I'm sorry.
That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I have another picture with of one. I don't know where it is. I have another picture, one with where his Cherokee wife.
Okay.
Wow, that's pretty tangible.
And Lance, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the film before we end the stream?
I'd give the film probably, in terms of for what it is, I'd probably give it about a 9 out of 10 for the kind of historical epic that it does. It does it really well. It's a great adaptation of the original source material. I haven't read the book, but I know the style of the book, which is a multi-narrative. So all different types of characters all the way through. And I think the film, because considering the film's got about 15, 16 key characters, it handles them pretty well. And I'm glad the studio gave the director and the producer the running time that the film required. Because if they tried to do this as a 2-hour movie, it would have been rubbish. Got to say that, by the way. Whereas as the 2-part movie that I saw in the cinema, which wasn't the extended one, it was still in 2 parts. You felt like the room the movie and the story and all the characters had room to breathe. So you got time to know everybody. So when people started dying, it was emotionally felt, and that's very, very important in a film, because if you're not invested in the characters, you don't care about what happens to them. You don't feel it when they die. So some of them we don't get to know very well, and they're in and out really quick. But no, I think it's one of the best American Civil War movies out there.
See this interaction with Chip Pickett?
Yeah, the line from Pickett in this movie at the end.
This really happened.
Yeah, I read that. General Lee, I have no division. Because he says, "You must look to your division, sir." General Lee, I have no division. And he never forgave Lee for losing all his men to this charge.
Even Lee didn't understand the totality of this.
Yeah. So it's a big double
colossal
thumbs up for me. Yeah, definitely. His biggest of the war, I think.
Well, they're going to lose the war anyway.
Yeah.
It was inevitable.
That wasn't going to change.
They needed foreign intervention. Honestly, that's what they were trying. The reason why Lee's pushing forward like this up to the north is because he's trying to win a big victory on Union territory to show foreign powers like Britain and France that they can handle themselves in the war and can defeat regime. Because that's what happened in the Revolutionary War. When after Saratoga, after what was the other one? So there was another battle, and that was the turning point in international relations, where they started getting a lot of aid overseas because they believed that the colonists actually had a chance to win that, and because of that battle, the Saratoga, one of them, and that's what Lee's trying to do here. He was trying to get that sort of support going, but if that wasn't realistic, the countries like France and Britain, they were never going to support a confederacy that had an institution of slavery, especially Britain. They never would have done it. All right, this is the last scene. And there was a permanent break between them because of this. Longstreet requested a transfer after this.
I think the last scene is between the two brothers, is it not? The Chamberlain brothers, the very last scene.
Pretty sure this one. Because I usually start the movie by this time.
Any last comments or concerns or things you want to mention about the film, gentlemen?
I don't have any concerns about it. I think it holds up as good today as it does when I saw it in the cinema. It eases up on the brutality of it. But that's just a ratings issue,
Well, this is definitely a film that
I have nothing to say except thank everybody for coming.
Yes, and this is definitely a film that if you had the opportunity to make your magnum opus film, this would be the one, right? This would be it, because it has everything that you would want in it. I don't see it being deficient in any way. Yeah, it was a fantastic film. This was so wonderfully done. I think the dramatic art shined in this film as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's quite a lot of subplots and little character arcs for some of the main characters, particularly for the Chamberlain brothers.
Yeah, nowadays this movie will just get dogpiled because it doesn't have all the check marks.
Well, yeah.
But what it does have is a lot of additional information that other films, or let's say stories, depictions of cinema or television of the Civil War don't have.
That's right.
It also has practical effects. It's shot in a location that's as accurate as it can be for where it took place. The costuming is as accurate as it's going to be. The weapons, some of these shots here, like in the, the silhouettes, are what we would imagine would have been seen on the battlefield. I don't think I've ever seen so many uniforms in one movie like that.
The only, yeah, at least most recently, I think the only thing that comes close really would, or maybe even exceed it, would probably be 1970 Waterloo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had more extras on that for sure. Yeah, this is the final scene with the two brothers when they're looking over the gate.
Yeah. Now I remember now. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right.
And because I always remember the shot of them kind of looking into either the dawn or the sunset. I guess it's the sunset.
Yeah, Chamberlain actually sent his brother away after this, so they were actually separated. This put their last battle together.
The film also made a point of making some very specific verbal comments of, this is why we're fighting this war, or, very, very specific. And they didn't necessarily lead it up to speculation.
Yeah, I think they did. I thought they played out those scenes really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's good explanation. They did it in a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The exposition that was in the movie was done in a way like makes sense, like generals standing around a battle, standing around the table and saying, "Oh, hey, well, this is what's going on." This exposition, but they did it in a way that makes sense.
Yes.
Well, there was a little exposition at the very beginning of the movie, but it was like 15 seconds.
The soundtrack was incredible.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I really do like it. And then you've got these little epitaphs at the end. I like the way they dissolve from the actor to either a portrait or a photographic portrait of the real individual, because for me that was quite interesting at the time.
Now they're showing what happened to all these guys.
Right. It's quite funny that the real Buford actually looks like Tom Berenger. If you look, he's actually a spitting image of Tom Berenger.
Yeah, he died that same year. Yeah. Jeb Stewart. Yeah, he died at Yellow Tavern. Yeah. It was a good likeness for him too.
Mm.
Oh, they do. Oh, they do mention it here. I forgot that they mentioned it here. So they do mention that he ran for president. Ooh, 6 times.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
He died in 1914.
53,000 combined losses from both armies. The decisive battle sought by Lee had ended in failure, but the spirit of the Southern Army was far from broken, and the war would rage on for 2 more devastating years.
Yeah.
Filmed in locations at Gettysburg National Park and at Adams County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very close to each other.
That was wonderful. And I want to also thank
That's it.
everybody for being here, including Tom Jr. Jackson. We are all good people, guys. Make sure you please like and subscribe to Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel. And of course, subscribe to Positive Fandom right here, guys, because we're going to be bringing you more of these historical films for perpetuity, guys. Also, I wanted to mention, you got to like and subscribe to the Outcast Creative. That's Lance's YouTube channel right here.
Lance, 9 away from 2,000.
Lance is 9 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers, guys. So please like and subscribe to Lance's YouTube channel. Lance, please tell us what's coming up on your channel.
So I've got my 1-year anniversary stream on Sunday, starting at 6 p.m. UK time. So it's about 1 p.m. East Coast. It's going to be going on until 2 a.m. Monday. So I'm going to be doing a mega stream for 8 hours. So I'm sure sometimes in that 8-hour window, you guys can pop in and say hello. So I've already sent you the link to pop on.
Oh, thank
Please,
you.
I haven't got an email for Darth. But Darth, you're very welcome to pop on if you want to pop on at some point.
I'll relay it through RM.
And I mean, literally, it can be you can come in for 5 minutes, or you can come in for an hour, whatever you like. So I've got that mega stream on Tuesday. I'm doing with the Inside Man. I'm doing a retro review and compare of Midnight Run with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin, one of my favourite films of '88, and Running Scared with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines, the late great Gregory Hines. So those are two fun streams. I'm also on a couple of streams on Retro Nerd Girls channel where we're digging into the history of canon films. And I think I'm on Friday the 14th of July with her. So I'm doing a couple of streams on her channel with her, which is great fun. I always have great fun on her channel. So yeah, so join me on any of those. All of the above.
Well, I wanted to say thank you for everybody for coming. I wanted to thank the comment for my green shirt earlier.
Oh yeah, and my shirt as well. Thank you for that.
And guys, if you need to reach Darth Plato, you can reach him here at Positive Fandom as well. If you need to reach out to him as well, guys, you can always reach me here at Positive Fandom or on the Burr Network. Guys, just keep in mind that Friday night, I will be doing a watch party with Lorena here on the channel. We're going to be watching Outlander Series 7, which is going to be the last season for this series before the preview series that they're coming up with. Please do join Lorena and I at 8 p.m. right here on Positive Fandom. And then at 10 p.m., you can join me and Julian Mushkin on the Burr Network. We're going to be talking Trek stuff, so please do check out PGS Treks. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then also, guys, don't forget, I should be, at least I believe I'm going to be on Midnight Musings on the Burr Network on Friday night. Also on Sunday, guys, during the day, I will be doing Sunday brunch with Russ. So please do check that out. I don't know where the link went to, but here it is. No, that's not it. Yes.
My Midnight Musings is Midnight Aggressive Musings.
Yes. Yeah, they are aggressive musings. And don't forget, Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on Positive Fandom. Also on Mondays, guys, Lorena and I will be doing our show, Ladies of the PGS, on the Burn Network. So please do check all that good stuff out. Don't forget to subscribe also to Tom Jr. Jackson's channel. Tom Jr. Jackson, my moderator, collaborator, and good friend. So happy. And thank you so much, Tom, for all you do. We are all good people. Just want to thank Darth Plato, you again, and Lance from the Outcast Grade for being here for such a fun and incredible film about something that's so important to the outcome of the country. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody who was here in the chat, it was so wonderful to hear everything from you and your opinions. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. Yes, live long and prosper, Darth Plato. Guys, remember, no matter where you are in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind. Take care, everybody.